Welcome to today's video. So this is video number 2 in the deadlift positioning series. So today we're going to go over stance and grip width for the deadlift. So let's just go ahead and get started. So we got the notes up there in the top left for you guys. Now, stance width. Ideally, when you're learning to sumo deadlift, you want it to, when you reach down for the bar, get into positioning, you want to see your shin ideally straight up and down. So knees directly over the heels of your foot. And then from there, you can play around with positioning as you get more and more comfortable. You can either try wider to see if you feel more stable, or some people even have success with going even narrower than the straight up and down shin angle. It's wherever you feel the most stable throughout the entire lift, and of course the strongest. But ideally with each position, you want to ensure that you try to keep your knees in line with your toes. So whether you're going shin straight up and down, feet slightly wider or slightly narrower, you want to try to keep the knee angle as well as the toe angle somewhat similar. They don't have to be exactly similar, but you don't want your toes to be facing outwards and knees collapsing inwards. It's just not adequate force transfer going in through the lift. All right, so next, you want to ensure the bar is over the midfoot as you're setting up. So as you go ahead and line up for the deadlift, line up for the bar, you want it to be roughly over the midfoot, but as you externally rotate your toes, more of your surface area and body weight actually shifts posterior. So the more you externally rotate, the closer you want your shin actually to be to the bar. So this is what happens if you don't line up with the bar over the midfoot. A common fault is lining up with the bar too far forward, and that's when you end up with that stripper squat right there. So that's just inefficient force transfer. You're making your body work harder than it actually needs to. So the hips are gonna rise before the bar, and yeah, it's just inefficient for the lift, inefficient for getting stronger. Now, next thing we're gonna go over is another fault is letting the bar settle between each rep. Of course, you don't have to do this if you're doing singles. You just line up good for the first rep, and then you're done with that. But letting the bar rest is something that I feel like a lot of people can benefit from. So just so that a lot of times the bar, if it's the platform or everything is not perfectly leveled, it could either shift forward or backwards. What you want to do then is either move the bar back to where you originally lined up to where it was good, or shift your feet forward and back in between each rep, because you don't want to be pulling at one position for the first rep, which is a good positioning that you want, and then the subsequent reps get harder and harder, or you start shifting left and right, or one side of the bar shifts forward or backwards, just to keep your reps consistent throughout the entire set and throughout your entire training session. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is grip width. So ideally, grip width, you want to start off with your arms as you're getting set up. You ensure your stance and everything is where you feel like it's strong and stable, and your arms to be going straight up and down. So as you can see right there, arms just about straight up and down. Now there are times here and there where you want to change or make adjustments to that, but generally that is where most people should be pulling from. So right here, just hitting up some pause. So I was filming this just going straight through a workout, and I carried this video over into another training session. But yeah, arms straight up and down. But we're about to go over why you'd want to change. So with the arms straight up and down, we're going to go over types of grip width. With the arms straight up and down, ideally people are going to start off with a double overhand grip. But you're going to find out that you're not going to get very far with that, especially as the weights get heavier and heavier, and people will transition to an over-under grip. So one arm over, one arm under, just like that. But now one problem with that is if your arms are straight up and down in an over-under grip, you'll get an unlocking of the fingers. So I'll show you guys right here. That's right there. So as you guys can see my right hand right there. So as the bar starts to get closer and closer to lockout, you'll get this unlocking right here. So it's usually middle, but pointer and ring finger can also unlock. So we'll go in slow-mo right there. So that unlocking effect at the lockout. So that's one reason why you might want to shift your grip either slightly outwards or slightly inwards, or completely change your grip. All right, so if you decide that the unlocking effect is hindering your deadlift technique, you can shift your grip to a hook grip. But another problem of the double overhand that a lot of people see is also something called the windmill effect. So now the windmill effect is when you go ahead, set up for your deadlift, and then closer to the lockout, just because you're uneven, one hand over, one hand under, you might get that hook grip that windmill effect. And then it can actually lead to knees unlocking or causing some balance issues at the top towards the lockout of the deadlift. And then at that point, you might want to consider completely switching your grip from an over-under if the windmill effect's completely throwing you off to a hook grip. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about hook grip here now. So yeah, there's the windmill effect. So your overhand is going to be rotating towards your back, and your underhand is going to be rotating forward. Could cause some balance issues, as well as your knees looking like they're not locked or completely unlocking your knees, giving you a no lift in the deadlift. So let's talk a little bit about hook grip now. So with hook grip, it's going to look like a double overhand grip, but you're going to be wrapping your thumbs around the bar, and then your fingers are going to be going ahead and wrapping around your thumbs. So when you set up for your hook grip, you want to get that internal rotation, and your goal here at the initial part is to try to get your thumbs going across the bar. You don't want your thumbs just to be wrapping around the bar. You want it to try to get across the bar, and a good majority of people are just going to get their middle fingers and pointer fingers around their thumbs, and their ring and pinky fingers are just going to be kind of hanging out there. So majority of your grip is going to be middle finger around your thumb, pointer finger around the thumb, and that's where majority of the support is going to be. And then also pulling the slack out of the bar is also important. Sorry, not pulling the slack out of the bar. There are two slacks you have to worry about when you go in the hook grip. You have to pull the slack out of your hook grip first, and then you pull the slack out of the bar first. So you want to pull the slack out of the hook grip so the bar doesn't roll as you're initiating the pull or getting closer to the lockout. So you're kind of finding that maximal point that you can pull the slack out of your hook grip. So you set your hook grip, pull the slack out of your hook grip, pull the slack out of the bar, and then you go ahead and start the pull. So yeah, there you go. So here's just a posterior view of it. So thumb going across the bar. Majority of people are going to be able to just get their middle finger on the bar and pointer, or pointer finger and middle finger around their thumb. And then you pull the slack out of the hook grip. So there you go. So because you don't want to initiate the pull with the bar in the meaty part of your thumb. So you either want to set your hook grip somewhat loose. Your thumb isn't going to be wrapped around the bar super tight in the hook grip. It's going to be somewhat loose, and majority of the support is just going to be on your thumb, and then your middle finger and pointer finger on that, and then ensuring that you're pulling all the slack out of your hook grip before you pull the slack out of the bar and initiate the pull. And then I just threw this in there for some fun. Some people have found success with a double underhook grip. I mean, that's going to be some really highly individualized points here and there, and people who would want to try that out. But yeah, people have had success with that. So that's it for this video. A little bit quicker on the stance, grip, and width part of the positioning deadlift. So we're going to have one more part, which is going to be talking about bracing and then initiating the pull. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You can take one or two things out and apply it to your lifting right away. And as always, guys, stay safe, put in that work, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.